The last of the three events in the FNB Wines2Whales trilogy, the Shiraz, saw 1,100 riders gather at Lourensford farm in the Helderberg Bowl for the first of 3 days of the finest mountain biking. The focus in the Shiraz is on the pro and elite categories, and the start was a who's who of the best mountain bikers in the country. They were relaxed as they prepared for 72 kilometres and 1,500 metres of climbing in an event that combines serious racing with serious gears. The Toyota Cruise section was the first of many sweet single tracks. The climb to Waterpoint 2 at Idiom is a challenge, as is the compulsory portage up the historic Gantu Pass. And there's still some work to be done before the run into the finish at Oak Valley. The Big A batch was stacked with past winners and national champions as they rode out towards the day's first climb to the Lourensford Neck. Initially, the power of Matt Beers put them under pressure and soon split the large lead group, leaving Piger Eurosteel, Toyota Specialized, Ibuka Type Dev, Honeycomb Pro Cycling and Insect Science as the heads of state up front for the time being.
Which we did.
It was furious racing. Up the first climb, Specialized put some pressure on and it already split up a little bit.
Beers has fearsome power, and towards the top the group was fighting to stay with him. Mark Pritson was closest with Bass and Haynes behind. And further back, Pritson's teammate, Swiss marathon champion Connie Lourensford, was struggling to stay with him.
Now I'm here and now I'm kind of the oldest in the field, so I was a bit nervous before the race. And now today, the first climb, I was, oh shit. The legs.
Experience in racing like this, so yeah, I stayed calm, he stayed calm, and eventually he got back, and from there on we just raced out nicely. The race was hard.
Ibuka Type Dev, Peter de Troy and Vessel Boerten, and Insect Science's Arno de Troy and Keegan Bontekoning were doing all they could to limit the early losses. The Lourensford Trail network is simply superb, with a dual reward of great views from the top and superb single track with the Toyota Cruise section.
It's not super technical trails, but it's high speed and flowing, so if you lose a wheel you're going to be off. I think it suits us a little bit more, and hopefully we can force a mistake on the other guys.
4 teams flew through the first water point at Vergelegen after 18 kilometres. This quartet of teams tore across the base of the Helderberg Bowl at high speed. The clear skies hinted at high temperatures for the backmarkers. The clouds pouring over the Hottentots Holland Mountains was a sure sign of nasty headwinds, which left exposed teams on the valley floor scrabbling to close gaps. Pritson has had a superb year, winning on both the road and the mountain bike regularly. His ferocious pace put Tristan Norkier under pressure.
Even I think if I took a few shots before the portage, there was quite a bad wind, and I was just off the wheel, and then I kind of went into the portage in the rear, and then the portage wasn't that bad, but as soon as we crested the portage, it was quite bad because it was such a bad headwind, and niched the losses.
Swiss Lawson was the only one to run up the Gantu Pass, an indication that he was now feeling super strong. He and Pritson were not going to let a stage-winning opportunity pass them by, something not lost on former winner Beers.
If you have a good day, it's a huge benefit. Connie and them had a great day and they've got a nice buffer now, so now we have to chase. So you're on the back foot slightly, but you got to keep the spirits high and just send it next 2 days.
Rabo's A to Z trails were a blast. Phil Bass and Gert Haynes led the way ahead of Pritson and Lourensford, with Beers and Norkier in pursuit. But the lights were flickering in the Piger Eurosteel team.
The guys, Mark and Connie just got a gap, and I just couldn't close it.
A superb ride by a scratch team, Connie Lourensford and Mark Pritson of Honeycomb BE taking stage 1 honours at Oak Valley. Piger Eurosteel powered home to take second less than a minute later, with Toyota Specialized in third to complete a high-class podium on stage 1 of the FNB Wines2Whales Shiraz. Piger Eurosteel are 39 seconds behind the first wearers of the Chivita leaders' jerseys at the FNB Wines2Whales Shiraz. They're on the backs of Lourensford and Pritson.
It's exciting, but also pressure now because we can only lose from now on. So we must make a plan and be careful with mechanical stuff. So ride it smart to the end.
The FNB Wines2Whales Shiraz celebrated the biggest field yet in the Exaro special category, with 24 teams under the age of 26 competing for the overall honours and education bursaries from Kuro schools and Stadio. Stage 1 was won by Tlotlo Selala and Njubalo Ndebele of Exaro R&B 1, who was 17th overall, and 2 minutes ahead of their teammates William Machapolo and Kenneth Chikuru. Selala and Ndebele will be resplendent in the green Exaro leaders Chivita jerseys on Stage 2, Lay Day, an out and back of 68 k's from Oak Valley. A cool, cloudy morning greeted riders ahead of Stage 2 of the FNB Wines2Whales Shiraz at Oak Valley, a farm that dates back to 1898. It was on this piece of land that Sir Anthony Viljoen planted the first commercial apple orchards in the Agrimark region. 124 years later, under Anthony Robben Viljoen, the farm now produces world-class wines, apples, pears, cut flowers, and spectacular mountain bike trails. Ahead of the 1100 riders lay 68 kilometres of the very best trails in the country. It's not called Play Day for nothing, with 70% on superbly crafted single tracks. The Toyota Cruise section includes Fissy's Magic and Sounds of Silence. Thereafter, Witklippies, Reachflame Magic and Pofara leads them to a brand new T-Kop trail. The refurbished bridges and berms of the Paul Kluwer Amphitheatre and Play Park sets them up for a thrilling run home. With just under 40 seconds between the leaders in the Elite Pro race, Honeycomb BE and Tiger Eurosteel, there was plenty to race for. While further back, the various category leaders were marked teams in their colourful Chivita leaders jerseys. National Marathon champion Phil Bass tried to put the Chivita yellow jerseys under pressure, upping the pace on the short, sharp climbs that link the sweet sections of single track.
With their attacks and everything, so yeah, it was basically just making sure that they don't get together in the front, put us under pressure. The day worked out perfectly.
Madam Mountain Biking dealt Toyota Specialized beers and Nokia cruel hand with a puncture in the first few kilometres. A quick fix had them back in the saddle, but they were chasing hard. Their efforts were rewarded when they regained contact with the big lead bunch inside the first 10 kilometres. But at what price? They may have burned matches a little too early on the stage. The spectacular Toyota Cruise section started with the Canadell lefty Ocha Burr, and it took them on through Fissy's Magic and Sounds of Silence at high speed. The sweeping trails are a legacy of Oak Valley's legendary winemaker and trail builder, the late Peter Visser. And the racing snakes just loved it.
I don't have that skill, the jumping and all that, but I just kept it safe. And but at the end of the day, it's still a lot of fun going through the berms and all that over the jumps, but enjoyed it.
While there is fun to be had on Play Day, the pace at the sharp end is red hot, which makes for a tougher day than expected, as the top teams are on the limit from start to finish.
Nice, but I think it was quite tough as well. Yeah, it was really a better day for us. It stayed in a group pretty much the whole day, the top 3-4 teams. And we tried to position ourselves well for single tracks, just trying to stay in front. And no real long climbs for anybody to get away. So it was just a bit tactical, and we managed to get into the last single track first. And coming to a finish line and take the sprint. So good day for us.
With such a high proportion of single track, it was all about positioning for the leading teams as they flew along hand-built bridges and trails like Witklippies, Pofada, Bergada and the new T-Kop trail, which connected them with the lower slopes of Groenlandberg. 5 teams were in contention for the stage win. Losser and Pritson of Honeycomb BE, Beers and Nokia of Toyota Specialized, Tiger Eurosteel's Base and Haynes, and De Troy and Boerter of Imbuka Type Dev, along with Arno De Troy and Keegan Bontekoning of Insect Science.
It's really competitive. It's definitely a competitive race. Everybody's on a good level, and I think that's
A short single track pack stage around Oak Valley and Paul Kluwer's very best trails lends itself to a hectic stage for these top men, who were averaging in the high 20 kilometers an hour all stage.
I knew it's going to be a very hectic stage. It's a lot of pressure. So for me, I was a bit on the limit in the trails, but I felt much better than yesterday. So I had no issues to keep up on the climbs or on the flat. And then I think they also realized they're not going to drop us, and then nobody attacked, and then it was basically 4 teams to the line. And yeah, I think it was a very good day for us, no time loss, and yeah, it's one more day to go.
The constant pressure applied by Base and then Pritson put Beers under pressure as he and Nokia dropped off the pace. Their early chase back coming back to haunt them perhaps. But it was the insect science pair who weren't able to stay with the leading quartet's hot base, Bontekoning and De Toy having to dig really deep. Once they were off though, it was 4 teams going full gas for home. Nokia was strong on the front, but his partner Beers was suffering at the back. Then it was the yellow jersey race leaders who took up the pacemaking. As the 8 riders flew down the trails towards Oak Valley, a sprint finish was looming. And it was all about how they positioned themselves best. It was Mbuko Type Dev's Boerter and De Toy who boxed clever and were first and third across the line to take the stage win. A thrilling end to a sensational day for former winner Boerter and De Toy.
No, it's lucky. It's my first stage win, yeah. So, yeah, we'll remember this one. But yeah, it was hard work to win today.
The Chivita yellow leaders jerseys remain with Swiss marathon champion Loss and former South African road champion Pritson. But their lead is less than a minute ahead of the final stage to Kuro School in Hermanus. So what's the plan?
To keep it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a big fight. I mean, it's always more exciting if the race is so close. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
An enthralling day's racing awaits with just 40 seconds between the top 2 teams. And there's also the honour of winning the final stage, something no doubt that Beers and Nokia are eyeing out. In the mixed race, there was a change in leadership with Darren and Candice Lill of Chivita, powered by Roller Toyota, overcoming a slow start before powering through the field, using their super skills to take the stage win ahead of the erstwhile leaders Team Mad Max of Yolandi de Villiers and Charlie McFall. Mocha Rangers of Yannick Lincoln and Aurelia Holbach from Mauritius are in 3rd place. The Exaro RMB1 team of Ndebele and Selala took the honours in the Exaro special category, adding nearly 2.5 minutes to their overall lead as they look to defend the title they won a year ago. Stage 3 of the FNB Wines2Whales Shiraz and another cool, cloudy but dry morning pointed at perfect weather conditions for a fun-filled and fast and furious ride down to Kuro School in Hermanus to end 3 days of magical mountain biking. 65 kilometers and 1,000 meters of climbing on the menu with a smorgasbord of stunning trails to keep them engaged and entertained. Corderserven and the Beaumont River Trail were new sections of riding pleasure, as is the Carvatus Contour. They'll finish with broad smiles thanks to the amazing Toyota Cruise section down the Onrus Gorge, before rolling into Kuro School in Hermanus and the finish. Resplendent in the Chivita yellow leaders jerseys, Connie Lawson and Mark Pritson are just 40 seconds in hand over the defending champions Phil Base and Gaertains of Page Eurosteel. The stage offered a few opportunities to attack, so the Honeycomb Pro cycling team needed to be on full alert from the gun. With the honour of winning the final stage as a further incentive, there was no holding back from the country's top marathon mountain bike teams.
Force for pace and Paga as well to try and split the group up. We got away from Connie and them, but they managed to creep back.
It was literally full gas from 20 meters in. I thought, yo, this is going to be a long day, but yeah, it's so nice to just, everyone wants to win and it's just full gas all the time. You think you're going to chill a bit and then just another team comes and it was super.
Was the deficit we had, and we had to try everything. And and I think in the first half of the race we managed to get a little bit of a gap, but it seems Connie and Mark controlled everything and stayed calm and managed to rejoin us. And we tried a few times after that, but just couldn't shake them. So well done to them.
And the high-pace strategy worked, as by the Hohook Berms, Team Mbuko Type Dev, Toyota Specialized and Page Eurosteel had prized open a small gap on Pritson and Lawson. The race leader's 40-second lead was under pressure.
No, it was actually not enough. I mean, it's very close. It's not. You can't have a puncture, you can't have a crash, and they put us under pressure. big time today. We almost lost it. I mean, you saw, I think after 15 kilometers before the fast downhill, we had just a small gap. And you know, the guys, I mean, they realized it immediately, and yeah, we had to chase back hard, but yeah, luckily we managed to get back, and then we just hang on. But it was a very, very hard day today.
The wheat fields at the Overberg beckon. Honeycomb Pro Cycling regained contact as they dropped down to the Botterfee. Through the Beaumont River Trails and Wildekrans, it was 4 teams going hell for leather. Nokia doing a big turn on the front for Toyota Specialized. Then it was the turn of Wessel Botha and Peter de Toy of Imbuco Type Dev. They rolled the dice from a long way out with a bold solo attack.
That's back in. And yeah, single track from there and took second on the stage. But yeah, some interesting racing, didn't work out for us, but a really good day on the bike.
Just coming out here, riding the trails, the water points and all that, the whole vibe around the race. I never knew what it was all about. I've done other races as well, but Wines2Whales is special. Like this is just a different vibe, and I'm definitely looking forward to coming back to this race again.
Yeah, for me it's also the same. It's a single trails, and the route, it's so much fun on the route, but it's also a lot of pressure because you know the guys are on such a high level, all of them. So you can't, you can never lose the wheel. So it's on the one side it's a lot of fun, but on the other side it's pure stress.
On the Calvados District Road, Beers opened the taps and the other 5 riders hitched on to the high-speed express as they reeled in de Toy and Botha, whose gamble for glory in a second stage win came to naught as they were caught just as they headed into the Toyota Cruise section.
Almost had it today with that slight breakaway, but yeah, my legs wasn't there, so it was all on Wessel. Hopefully next time I can work with, and yeah, the breakaways can stick. But no, great result at the end of this race for us.
The 3 days of racing ended with a sensational piece of trail on the Toyota Cruise section as they dropped down the imposing Onrus River Gorge. A narrow, tight and technical trail carved out of the side of the ravine, creating a fast-flowing run to the finish. There were no opportunities to pass, so for the second day in a row, a sprint finish was in the offing. With their overall win secure, Honeycomb left Paiga Eurosteel, Imbuco Type Dev and Toyota Specialized to scrap it out. And it was Beers and Nokia who raised their arms in victory, just ahead of Base and Haynes. Rolling home a few seconds later, Connie Lawser and Mark Pritson celebrated a faultless 3 days of racing to take the overall victory and the 100,000 Rand first prize. For Pritson, it was a first taste of victory in one of the country's premier 3-day stage races. And for Lawser, it was the third win to add to triumphs in 2014 and 2016.
Yeah, it's great. It's actually a big release. It was one of my goals end of the season, to win it for the third time, and I knew with Mark it's possible. So I think, yeah, he has been the best possible partner for this one. And yeah, today was a hectic day, a lot of pressure. You know, I mean, you can't have or make any mistakes, can't have any mechanical. So yeah, it's a big release now.
A top-class road racer, Pritson relished the chance to show his mountain biking skills in such august company.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, racing alongside Matt Beers, Philip Base and all those, I mean, they've won some big races in their career. So for me to come here and win one of the races that they set their goals towards, I mean, it's absolutely very special.
The Chiavita yellow jerseys and the top step on the podium once again for the Team Honeycomb Pro Cycling pair. Base and Haynes put up a valiant defence of their title, and Toyota Specialized had the consolation of winning the final stage. After just over 200 kilometres of racing, just 34 seconds separated Pritson and Lawser from second place Base and Haynes. Beers and Nokia were 3 minutes and 11 seconds down. The most competitive Exaro special category in the history of the FNB Wines2Whales was a triumph for the Exaro RMB1 pair of Tlotlo Selala and Tlalalisani Ndebele as they won their third stage. Both under 26 as per category rules, they were 18th overall and collect a wonderful prize of education bursaries from either Curo Schools or Stadio. They were 21 minutes ahead of their teammates Exaro Pepto's Kenneth Chukuru and William Majapolo.
Yeah, it was great. So like we're already prepared. We did epic together and we won that jersey. So we keep on pushing each and every day.
All told, just over 3,000 riders took on one of the 3 FNB Wines2Whales events. Congratulations to all those who finished. In a year's time, the 14th edition will be the switchback route from Hermanus to Lourensford. Be sure not to miss out on the race with serious gees.